Welcome back to Rappling Village, where the Meghalaya Open Paragliding Championship final rounds are being held. We've had some intensive action over the last few days, although 2 days were lost due to heavy winds. However, on this final day, we do have some action that is coming up, so stay tuned. In the previous episode of Sports Corner, we presented discussions from technical experts during the Meghalaya Open Accuracy Paragliding Championship and Asian League qualifiers held at Rappling Village in Maukan Rio subdivision of East Khasi Hills district. The event was organized over a span of 4 days by the Meghalaya Aero and Adventure Sports Association or MASA. There were a total of around 100 pilots competing from different countries including India, Nepal, Indonesia and Singapore. Over 150 pilots had registered for the championship before the number was reduced. For Meghalaya, Jovial Andre Lalu was the lone pilot. Paragliding involves non-motorized, foot-launched flying and is considered the simplest form of human flight. A paraglider has an inflatable wing that can sometimes be mistaken with a parachute. However, there is a major difference. Paragliding pilots begin their flight from the ground with their parachutes already deployed as the wind elevates them. Parachuters, meanwhile, fall from the sky and deploy the parachute as they approach the ground. In this episode, we bring you highlights from the second day of the championship in Meghalaya. The rest of the competition was marred by strong gusts of wind, forcing the organizers to cut short the 4-day event, taking safety into account. Yuda Mesa Putra of Indonesia was eventually declared the overall winner with a total score of 11 points, while Nepal's Aman Thapa, who had earlier taken the lead, finished second with 17 points. Ardian Siamega Putra, also of Indonesia, was third with a total score of 20. Rita Shrestha of Nepal had the best outing from the female participants, finishing 16th with a score of 257, followed by fellow compatriot Krishu Podel at 20th place after managing 348 points. The point system in paragliding is such that a pilot with the lowest points is declared the winner. To put it simply, the lesser points a pilot earns, the higher their overall rank is during a competition.
very interesting competition because as you can see, it's not very far distance between landing and takeoff, but it's very challenging because there's a technical challenge for all the pilots caused by the barbell thermals happening usually after 9 o'clock. So it's give the pilot more challenge when they're approaching the landing area. So the bubble thermals was the heat that created by the sun hitting the ground. So it's give the heat on the ground and it's going up. For the cross country, we use it to gain the altitude, but for accuracy, it gives them the challenge to control their glider because when they're approaching the landing area, they have difficulty with this thermal that keep them going up, and they have to control the gliders to approach the landing area. They have to maintain to approach the landing area, but the thermal force them to go up, so they have to control the glider to reach the landing area. That's the technical difficulty for this flying site. I've been to Mizoram, also to Bodoland before in 2019, and also this is the third time for the competition. They have their own unique character for each flying site, and the most difficult one is here in Meghalaya, and the other two they have good flying site, but with a higher takeoff than this one. So it's all about the challenge pilot will get on the flying side. So I might say every flying site here are unique. They have their own characteristic for flying site.
see, the conditions everywhere are not supposed to be same. The condition here is different. The condition back home where I fly is different because of the landscapes and the geographical conditions. This is the highland, and overall, if we see, this is also a flatland flying style. So the wind here is comparatively stronger than the wind I was used to fly. But this is also something new for me to do it, so it's going good. I started paragliding since 2012, so it's been like 10 years. Yeah. In Nepal, paragliding is like flourishing in Pokhara, which is a very touristic place, and the place for paragliding is really good. Pokhara is one of the top 10 ranked place worldwide. We used to held competitions like we did like 20 events already in Pokhara, and we were ready also for the World Cup. So Pokhara is a very highly ranked place for paragliding, very safe, and we can fly almost throughout the year if the conditions are good and favorable. Only in monsoon we are not able to fly in Pokhara. But here, if we compare it to Pokhara, here it's a nice blue day, good wind, but still we cannot fly because of the speed of the wind. As a person, you might feel it unfair, but this is game, this is adventure. We are pilots and we have to know this. Like the wind and the conditions are in nobody's control. It's like I said you earlier, it is adventurous sport. It's better to be safe than to have some injuries. It is unfair, but in competitions, not only here, it can happen in any places of the world. So it ends up like this. Better to have a successful event and like a healthy competition is very important than to make a bad competition and make a lot of injuries.
started with a dream. When I was young, I always wanted to fly, and I had to take a point where I had to stand and I had to take the action of flying. So what I did was, back in 2018, I just called an instructor from Himachal Pradesh. I called him and said, I'm going to come there and I'm going to finish training. I'm going to do my P1, P2 and P3 training. So I went there in October 2019, and then I completed it. I completed training in a month, a little bit more days than that. And then when I came back, it was really, I continued again. Because of pandemic, we had to stop. And then I started again in 2021, went back there. So that's basically one of the story. But then the best thing about it is I did what I wanted to do, that's to fly. Now, I actually had some fear. I had fear of heights, actually. But then I just went there. I told myself that I'm going to do it no matter what happens. And then I took the trainings for like a few days. And after that, my instructor took me to the hill, the biggest mountain there, this building. So we took off from there. First flight was the most scariest part. And then second flight was a little bit scary. But later it came down. The fear came down a little bit. So as the flights progressed, I've come to overcome the fear. So just remembering that brings happiness to me. So that's what started the passion for paragliding. I'm so really happy to be participating here in my own state, to be representing Meghalaya, our people here, and it's always a pleasure. And we thank Masa for organizing this. If it wasn't for the organizing committee to make this possible, maybe I wouldn't be here right now. Maybe I would be doing other competitions, maybe in other states. That could be possible if this wasn't here. So to bring this here to our state, it makes me really happy.
With that, we conclude our coverage of the Meghalaya Open Paragliding Championship and Asian League qualification here at Rappling Village. Anyone interested in enrolling for a course can contact Masa. We hope you enjoyed the action that we brought to you. Until next time, take care.